there's something that's been on my mind lately.
What have you been thinking about?
This World War III. And
Okay.
so I'm not sure if you've been watching the news recently, but there's a lot of talks about having a World War III. And we're very close on this shouting match between world leaders saying you're gambling with World War III. So
Yeah,
then it got me thinking.
that was quite the
Yeah,
spectacle.
huge spectacle. If you didn't watch the 3 hour full press conference, I feel that it's not just me, it's probably the entire world, because World War III, the search trends over the past 12 months has been like steadily showing an upward trend of going towards a medium point. So it's probably not just me that's thinking about this. So every time I think about World War III, okay, what are some solutions that anyone can potentially create in this economy, especially we're probably not in the best economic environment right now? I'm also seeing like some news clips about saying that we might be in a depression. So let me just give you this pitch. Bunker ADUs. And you would probably go like,
What's an ADU?
an ADU stands for an accessory dwelling unit. So it's typically like an addition that you add to your home or your plot of land that already has like a home, but it's like an additional unit. Whether if it's like a shed, it could be a shed or like a living quarters that you put in the backyard. It's pretty common out there, where to the point that some websites where businesses have created these really beautiful websites of these small living ADUs. Typically, you see a little bit more often on these ADUs on Airbnb, where they're just like in someone's backyard, and then you book it on Airbnb, and then you get like a temporary stay situation. There's actually quite a few of these businesses because it's such a common business model, but it requires some local expertise in order to create an accessory dwelling unit. It really depends on your local jurisdiction of what area you're in. And then typically you'll find a lot of these ADU companies that will just like take care of the full service along with the permitting in your area. Typically you're not going to find like a one size fit all ADU company. You'll really have to like search for them. So that got me thinking, okay, ADUs are a giant market. Some of these ADUs cost $300,000 just to make in your backyard. Or maybe you have like a larger plot of land. Maybe it's like a little bit more further out. But then in the context of potentially World War III, I started to think, okay, if you can create an ADU above ground, why not create an ADU underground and then make it a bunker? Because like a bunker to me, in this context of the trending topic of World War III and all the political instability that exists in the world, there's probably a reason why Mark Zuckerberg and Jeffrey Bezos all have the world's largest bunkers in their like private residences out there. So I'm just thinking okay, if I'm just like upper middle class and I probably have enough money to create like an ADU, and I'm also stressed about the war, because all the news is making me feel uneasy. Well, if you are currently looking at custom bomb shelters, which like
Wow.
roughly cost the same, like $250,000 or like $300,000. So it's like the same price point as a common above ground ADU. Just like seeing this website, it looks way different than like one of those ADU websites that we just
a little
visited.
different vibe, maybe.
Yeah. And then it's a lot of nuclear kind of survival type of imagery. But then I feel like you can actually just make or position one of these ADUs as like a survival pod instead of like calling it like a bomb shelter or survival shelter. So then it got me thinking, okay, that should be the business, which is you make ADU websites that are more similar to like the beautifully designed kind of packages. And it's more surrounding about the language of like feeling secure and safe. And then best case, you don't use it in a survival situation, but best case, you are prepared kind of language. So instead of like the nuclear survival or like the worst case scenario on like making you feel stressed, in these type of situations in the modern age, it's more about having a security or a mindset of feeling secure about having something that will probably survive the worst case scenario, but having like a beautiful website that shows you all the models of these underground bunker or ADUs that you could potentially have beautiful language and decent brand aesthetics. And someone could easily make like a prototype of a website that's just about a very secure underground shelter pod that you can add in. And then we'll take care of the entire full service from permitting, planning, and all the way to putting this modular survival pod in your backyard. I think that could be a very straightforward website, even if you are not experienced in creating backyard shelters or underground shelters. I think you can just make the website at first and then essentially partner up with whoever that's a local expert of like creating these shelters for the full service, and then work with them on some kind of affiliate deal to then take care of branding this thing and marketing this thing. Because World War III is a general trend. Feels kind of sad to talk about this, but like it is true that like people are searching for this topic. There's progressively more news about this topic. So this is going to fuel this industry.
Yeah, the vibe that I'm like picturing of this website that you're kind of imagining right now is like I think you need to follow the same brand voice as Anne Durrell. It's like there's really something going on here where you're taking a type of service that is not this way at all, and then you're basically turning it into like the Polestar brand, like whatever this vibe of brand is. This is such a good idea, and it would be a lot of fun to execute. And also, like with this being the Viral Ideas podcast, come on, like some of the best viral videos on the internet are about bunkers. Like there's like the Colin Furzy videos. That was one of the best series on the internet. So especially like if you are breaking ground and building one of these things for a client, the content opportunities are amazing for that. Like just start the video up by saying, hey, I'm going to be building a bunker in, my driveway. Maybe it's a disaster preparation thing, but also like people buy like Ford F-350s and Cybertrucks. And this is like a flex to just own, right? Like, why wouldn't you want this? Why not put it in your backyard and then put like a sauna in there, make it like an awesome hangout spot to like replace your backyard in the winter? I don't know. This is awesome. And okay, so here, there's two numbers. First of all, great views, but also like these things, you can build them for 250 grand. It's a lot cheaper than I thought, honestly. Yep. And look, this is so Atlas Survival Shelters. That's the website of the brand that you pulled up earlier. So these guys, like, just as like a secondary thing, they're just posting these things, and they've amassed 400,000 subscribers. That's enough audience that like they're basically in the media business at that point. Yep. I mean, like they have two separate wings of their company. That's no small audience.
Honestly, if you look at the video that has over 171,000 views, the content is not that crazy. It's not really like a comprehensive content. It's really just kind of shots between their builds. It honestly feels like they filmed it for insurance purposes. To literally document for their insurance that they did all the proper procedures.
Yeah, it's probably a little rough around the edges. Like that's the cherry on top for this idea. I think we should actually make this one. I think that we'd be insane not to just put that website out there.
Yeah. We are now in the survival pod business. If you would like a survival pod in the backyard and you happen to have roughly $300,000, we have no experience, but we will find someone that does have the experience, and we will help you design a beautiful survival shelter. And then, also, best case scenario, you survive the worst case situation. But worst case scenario, you never have to use it, but you got like a really premium, fancy playroom for your kids to have play days in, and all unsupervised. Well, like maybe you put a camera in there. That's where you're going to have your parental supervision. But then just not having the noise inside the actual home is an added plus if I was a parent.
If any viewers watching this right now want to purchase one of these bunkers and have it built in your backyard, let us know in the comments. We'll eventually send you an email. Also, if you want to invest in this business, or if you want to buy a bunker business, also leave a comment below.
Yeah, or just comment bunker. Maybe we'll brainstorm the plans together on this bunker business. Comment bunker if you're pro bunker.
Comment bunker.